love that we're continuing our Leadership Unplugged series with Bob Rosing, who's President and CEO of DwellWorks, but also a distinguished member of our board of directors. Bob, I've known you for a number of years, but for our friends, share a little bit more about Bob.
Sure, thanks. Bob Rosing, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, born and raised there, and have lived there my entire life, basically.
So you haven't moved?
I'm the shoemaker's kids. I have never moved as in a relocation profession, but came out of the mortgage industry, ended up in relocation about 1995, and have been here ever since. Got a wife and family back in Cleveland, 2 kids, a grandbaby Emma, and so that's a little bit about me. You mentioned DwellWorks. Today happens to be our 11th birthday.
Wow, happy birthday, right?
May 17th,
yeah. I'd break into song, but it wouldn't go so well.
No,
You would,
we're not
you don't even like that. Yeah, he's like, no, cut that right now. But okay, so a really storied career, a variety of different things, other than you stayed put in one town, but we won't talk about that. Let's talk about transformation though, because obviously you've had to transform yourself personally, but also businesses. So what are the key takeaways for somebody in an industry that's trying to go through that?
Yeah, I think one of the things is the break old established practices. That I think when we think about the design of our company, it came from our experiences prior places that we worked, and the notion of consolidating services, taking advantage of scale, taking advantage of best practices, meaning operational practices, and breaking some eggs in a sense of some of the things that people have done historically in the past to bring efficiency to it. And then out of that efficiency, you have the opportunity to bring better service and better performance from the end user's perspective. And so I think that from the very onset, our approach was to do things a little bit differently than had been done historically, take advantage of scale, as I said, and then bring from those savings new efficiencies, new opportunities to the marketplace.
So how do you separate, so great discussion on transformation and some of the key things, but how are you able then to separate out transformation and business disruption from chaos? What's that secret to keeping that?
Well, I think we're a very curious company, so there's a lot of curious people, and there's no shortage of shiny objects that race through our minds and through our day. But I think you have to look at those things and pick the ones out that are actually going to impact the performance of the business, most importantly, the customers' utilization of the services and consumption of the services. So I'll use an example right now, shiny object, virtual reality. We're looking at virtual reality. And you go, ooh, that'd be really cool if you could use virtual reality. But our take on that is, how's it going to improve the performance of the service delivery at the end user's point of utilization? I mean, it sounds interesting, but does it really have an impact? And you think about virtual reality, it's not readily in the marketplace like your iPhone and other technologies that over time have evolved and become part of our life. But you can't ignore virtual reality and some of the other technologies that are out there as possibilities for the future. And so we look at a whole bunch of those things. And so when you say disruption versus chaos, chaos is you try and run out all of them. Disruption is you try and pick out the ones that can truly impact and improve what the service is that you're performing.
So a little bit more surgical.
A little bit more surgical, yeah.
But you talk about...
Got to have a lot of discipline around it.
Yeah, and I think that's a key thing. But I want to wrap with this because you talk about virtual reality. So is it not true that you are George Clooney's brother?
That is not true.
That's not true? It feels that way. You look that way.
I could only wish. It's the makeup.
It's the makeup. Very good. All right.
And not a full night's sleep.
Yeah, that's not always good. There you go.
So.
Thank you, Bob.
Okay, Peggy. Thank you.